Happy Reelydays, my ghouls and goblins.
That's
Welcome.
pretty sick.
Right? You like the sleigh bells in sync with the Carl Casey synth music?
Pretty cool.
Got to give it up to Matt Thomas for that. He tweaked it. He figured out the code to make that work precisely. Welcome to your premiere Christmas programming on Who Are They Real Entertainment. Shaping up to be that way. Look at us. Look how committed we are to this shit.
Yeah.
Happy Reelydays, our first show in December, and on a cold, snowy Friday. Had a lot of snow this week.
Wait, it's snowy. It's snowy where you're at?
Well, it's not snowing. There just still is snow.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, a lot of it melted over here.
I'm not like snowed in. I was snowed in earlier this week. I was truthfully like not leaving the house, not putting clothes on, just living amongst the trash heaps in my room, not coming out for any reason. But I'm not snowed in tonight. And even if I was, that'd be fine because I'm here spending time with my top goblin on a frosty December evening, a frosty Friday.
Frosty Friday.
Frosty Friday. We don't do this on Friday often. Two in a row. Our first episode in December, which is of course our holiday horror marathon. We're talking about nothing but festive, holly jolly horror films all month. I'm excited because it's given us an opportunity to talk about. Usually we talk about new release films primarily on here. You know, we try to stay on the cutting edge. You know what I mean?
Oh, this one wasn't a new release.
You could tell. You thought this was a new Blumhouse production. No, get a little retro tonight because, of course, we will be talking about Silent Night. Oh, my God, I didn't make any new banners. Can you believe it? What an amateur production here. It's December, and I forgot to make new strolling banners. That's okay, though, because we've got a permanent banner down at the bottom, as you know. The best way to support this show. A lot of ways to support this show, but the best one, is to head on over to wretchedapparel.com. It's the holiday season, baby. Got to give gifts to the ones you love. And maybe they love new horror movie-themed apparel. Look no further than wretchedapparel.com, and you get 10% off when you use our coupon code Reely Scared at checkout. Can you believe it?
No, it sounds like a dream come true. Seems like the gift that keeps on giving.
It is the gift that keeps on giving because it helps us out. You or somebody you care about get some sweet horror movie swag. You just keep winning. And another great way to support us is to follow us over on Twitch. We're so close.
Yeah, we're 8 followers away.
8. Being able to secure that coveted affiliate status. I want nothing more under my tree than to see who are they affiliate status on Twitch this Christmas. Make my dreams.
Don't you want to see? Don't you want an emote? This guy. Hold on.
It's true. I believe in affiliate status. We get to make emotes, custom ones, and you could get a sneak preview of one right here. You could just put that in the chat whenever you feel it's appropriate, whenever you feel inspired, when something happens on the show that makes you say, you know what? This is how I feel. You can put that 1, 2, 20 times. I'm just saying, it's, again, a gift for us and a treat for you as well to express yourself.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't follow us and watch us on Twitch because you'll never be able to use that emote.
That's true. I always say
never be able to pop in somewhere and just be like, boom.
That's true because you can take that wherever you go. You don't have to just use it in our chat. You can go anywhere. You can go watch Kayla Marie T. You can see, you know what? Here's a semen demon emoji. Aren't you glad you came on the internet today, Kayla? You go see Winston Marshall. You know what I mean? You go see Winston. He's checking out Really Trivia Showdown matches. You go to his stream. You say, guess what? Semen demon. He's like, oh, shit. I know. He's my favorite Really Trivia star. I knew it. So you can take that little treat wherever you want. But to help us get there, we need you to follow us on Twitch. So please, even if you're a YouTube fan, if you're a Facebook fan, check us out on Twitch. Give us a follow and watch us there because you can get exclusive gaming streams. What have you been playing, Connor?
I played some Phasmophobia, went hunting for some ghosts, and then I decided, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and make some burgers. And worked at Happy's Humble Burger Farm Is that what it was called? I don't know. It's such a long title, but I flipped some burgers, and then I got eaten by a demonic cow.
Is it the last time you'll ever take a game recommendation from me, Connor?
Oh, no. I want more.
You want some more? You're going back in?
I'm going back in eventually. Not tonight.
Getting back in. I can't wait to see it. Thank God I'm following on Twitch.
It was so stressful. I really thought I was like yelling at the customers, like, I'm the only one here.
I got so stressed out watching you, I passed out. I woke up and I was like, oh, shit. And then like it was just like the stream had ended. Stream was on. I was like, oh no. Like I just couldn't take it, man. I needed a break. It was so stressful.
It was stressful.
Yeah. And you can see all that and more if you follow us on Twitch. There's the promise. And I'll be streaming some games again pretty soon here. Little Nightmares. I'm really excited to stream that once the semester ends, once I have a little more free time, put my feet up, play some spooky games. And I've already got a couple other ones lined up to check out in December too. So Twitch is going to be on fire for us in December. We're practically just going to be perpetually streaming between our shows and all the gaming content.
Yeah.
So follow us on Twitch. How you doing, El Spooky Ghost? I'm not sure what this is. Is this like a MySpace, like PC for PC thing, like silver hair for silver bells? I'm not sure what that is.
I don't know what that means.
I mean, silver hair is like Santa, maybe? I don't know.
I mean, I have silver hair now.
Got some sort of like maybe a silver bell. Is that like a OnlyFans thing or something? Like some sort of like cam girl thing, maybe? Like they're offering you bells, you know?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I'm just trying to talk this out, figure out what's going on here. El Spooky Ghost. They got a little George Romero avatar. Welcome to the show, Spooky Ghost. Thank you for watching.
Also, what if you don't know, we've streamed 25 days out of the last 30 days on Twitch. Let's go ahead and try to make it 30 days every day for a whole month.
30 days of Twitch. We'll be twitching all month, baby. You come check that out. What was I saying originally? We got a great show tonight.
Yeah, we got a good show. It's all right.
I don't have a scrolling banner to tell you what we're going to talk about, so I'll just tell you right now. Of course, we are talking about 1984's Silent Night, Deadly Night. To start off our holiday horror marathon discussion all through December. Nothing but the holiday hits on Reely Scared. Who'd have thought we'd become the Christmas show of all the great programming and personalities and ideas on this channel? Who'd have thought we had been the one to double down and say, nope, we're doing this Christmas show every single week. Who'd have thought that would have been us? I don't know, but it's great. There's so many great examples of this concept where the holidays meet horror movies. You wouldn't think.
Yeah, because they're fucking horrific. The holidays are horrific.
Yeah, I think it's proven to be a fascinating juxtaposition. So we'll be talking about these movies and I guess kind of examining the relationship between Christmas holidays and the macabre horror films and seeing why those two intersect once in a while and how it works. Matter of fact, why don't we reveal all the films we'll be talking about?
Why not?
We got the slate. We got the schedule. Let's announce it. Here it comes. Happy REELYDAYS, you little freaks. Of course, tonight we are talking about Silent Night, Deadly Night. You knew that already. Next Thursday, we're going back to Thursdays next week, Matt Thomas. So stop your complaining.
Yeah, chill out, dude.
We're going back to Thursday. We'll be talking about, of course, Krampus, a real contemporary holiday.
Krampus or Krampus?
I say Krampus.
Krampus.
Maybe the real, maybe it's more like Krampus.
Krampus.
What do you think about that? Does that sound good?
I think it's Krampus.
Krampus. Krampus. We're talking about Krampus next Thursday. What a fantastic, fun holiday movie. If we were going to do something like this, you knew Krampus had to show up in there. So got to talk about Krampus. And then the very next night, oh, gotcha, Matt. You thought we were done. Nope. Next Friday, we are back on. All right. Because we're doing a watch along of Jack Frost of 1997. Not to be confused with Jack Frost of 1998, starring Michael Keaton, which is interesting. Did you know? I'm gonna bring it back down real quick. Did you know that the horror movie came out before the Michael Keaton movie?
Yes, I knew that.
How did they pull that shit off? Is it just
I didn't know they came out so close together, but I knew the horror movie came out first.
Yeah, I don't know if this was like an Asylum Pictures type deal, or they just wanted to trick people into watching theirs at the video store.
But What a perfect time to do it. Because I mean, over the last few months, we've talked about so many times like how we've had the same shared experience of walking through a video store and seeing that holographic VHS cover and being freaked out by it. So I mean, it's kind of perfect that we're doing a watch along.
Yeah, and I can't wait on Tubi. That's streaming on Tubi. Who knew? Tubi's got like kind of a banging horror movie selection. I never even looked at Tubi before. Jack Frost is streaming on Tubi, so looking forward to that. I think we'll probably locked it in probably 8 p.m. We do 8 p.m. Jack Frost watch along stream, just like on Twilight, though not 12 hours long. I'll throw the timer on in the back so you can sync up with us. It might be a little tricky because I think Tubi's got commercials. But we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we're gonna do like a watch party type thing where there will be a link where you can join in, watch along, be synced up with us.
Yeah,
if you choose to do that.
Yeah. Or just pop in your VHS copy at home of Jack Frost 1990.
Yeah, if you have the holographic VHS edition, then you can go ahead and pop that in and cue it up on your VCR.
I wonder if I can find it at Goodwill or something just to kind of show that VHS cover off on the.
So sick.
So good. It's like pretty much 98% of the reason we're watching this movie on
yes.
And there's other good stuff on Tubi too. I won't spoil it, but if we're having a good time, people are hanging out, we might watch something else after Jack Frost 2. We'll see where the night takes us. No spoilers on that. The following week, I think that's still a Thursday, right?
Yeah, that's Thursday.
Or did we bump it up to a Wednesday? I can't remember. Why would I do that on that week? I'm not sure.
No, that's a Thursday.
That's a Thursday? All right. Gremlins, of course. Joe Dante's Gremlins, one of the all-time classics in general of horror movies. I would just say a film in general, but as far as holiday horror goes, does it get better than Gremlins? I don't really think so. So December 17th, we'll be discussing Gremlins. The next week, I think this is the Wednesday.
This is a Wednesday.
Okay. December 23rd, Wednesday. This one's going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be wild. We're going to be talking about Black Christmas, all three versions. We're going to watch 1974's, 2006's, and the most recent 2019 edition. We'll watch all three and compare and contrast them in one overarching conversation. It's going to be fun. I've not seen the most recent Black Christmas. I haven't heard the best thing, but I think in the context of watching all three of them, it'll be interesting to see like what similarities they have, what differences they have, how the filmmaking conventions change each time. So I think that'll be really cool to watch three different stories from like three different decades. It's going to be awesome. Really looking forward to that. And then naturally, of course, I believe this is a Wednesday as well. December 30th, book club, talking about Secret Santa by Andrew Schaefer.
Yeah, it's a Wednesday.
That's a Wednesday as well. A holiday horror themed, Spin from the Real Beat. I was just about to say, you know what? Doesn't Spin from the Real happen on Wednesdays, but they'll be done by the time we start. So I don't think it'll be an issue. At least unless they do a clean cleek, then we'll be overlapping. It'll be a crossover. The streams will cross. Book Club, Secret Santa by Andrew Schaefer. That's going to be great. A new holiday horror novel. It was published just for us. I've already started. It's a lot of fun. I think I'm going to tear through it within a week or two here. And that's it. That's our huge holiday horror. Happy REELYDAYS slate for December. We got a great lineup. I'm so excited to talk about these movies. Again, kind of a different vibe for us because we're always talking about new release films. So we're going to be talking about movies from the 80s, from the 70s, movies from a movie from last year. We're going to be all over the place. It'll be fun. Have a little more context for some of these films since they won't be brand new. So we can kind of discuss these movies and the impact that they had and the followings that they have. It'll be kind of a different vibe. So it'll be cool. I'm really excited to do this proper holiday horror month. And also, I think the cat's out of the bag on it. We will be popping up on Wrestle Reel with the homies.
Oh, that was released already. God damn it!
What's that?
I wanted to sneak in and be like a total surprise, but
no, it's been spoiled. One of the Wrestle Reels this month. I know what it is, but I already forgot, so I got to make sure. So I'm not going to tell you what it is tonight. One of these Wrestle Reels. We'll be teaming up with Chris Anthony Lopez and Nick Molbach to talk about Santa's Sleigh, a holiday horror movie starring Bill Goldberg as a serial killer Santa Claus. That movie's a blast. Can't wait to talk about it with those guys. We love Wrestle Reel, so I can't wait to come back.
You want to hear another funny story? I've been thinking, I didn't know this was the movie because I remember I tried watching this movie when I was little. Because when did this come out? Like early 2000s?
Santa Sleigh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get an exact date for you over on the dual monitor setup. Hello. 2005.
2005. Yeah, so I was 11 when this came out. And I remember trying to watch it because I liked Chris Kattan, because I liked Corky Romano.
It's true. He is in it.
Chris Kattan's in this movie. And I tried watching it. My mom was like, nope. And I've been trying to figure out what movie that was.
Yeah.
Now I know. I'm going to be watching it with the guys from Wrestle Reel.
It's kind of hilarious that he's in it because I think he gets like karate kicked to death in the first 3 minutes or something.
Yeah.
I don't know how he wound up in that. But the Bill Goldberg joint, Santa Sleigh, we'll be chatting about that on Wrestle Reel. And I love Wrestle Reel, so I can't wait to come back to that show. Spooky Ghost says the 2019 Black Christmas isn't really a Black Christmas remake. They just use the title. Silly to compare it to 06 and 74. Well, too bad, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to compare it.
Yeah, it's still Black Christmas.
Yeah, it's called Black. So you, Connor, you've seen the 2019 film?
Yeah, I've seen all three.
Oh, okay. You've seen all three. I've seen the first two, not the most recent ones. So I have no idea what I'm in for. I mostly have not heard great things, but I feel like I've also seen one or two people come up to bat for it here and there. I feel like that happens with, like, especially horror movies that don't get received very well. Like, you just let them gestate a little bit, and then somebody else, some writer somewhere will come out and say, like,
actually,
did you consider this? Did you consider Dr. Torture from Island? That was me. I was like, did you consider him, though? His name's Dr. Torture.
That's pretty cool.
You thought it wasn't good, but
I'll go to bat for Fantasy Island. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, we love Fantasy Island on this show. Oh, man. Got a little Christmas sale here. I'm ready to get loose. I'm ready to get holly. I'm ready to get jolly. What you got going over there, friend?
Dude, this fucking glare, dude. I swear to God.
Zachariah Harris eggnog. So that's just spiked nog in a bottle ready to go, huh?
Yeah.
Well, how is that?
Great bourbon whiskey.
Does it taste like egg? Like I'm not much of an eggnog guy.
I love eggnog. This is boozy.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, it looks like it's just showing up boozy. Not much of an eggnog guy. I mean, like, if you hand it to me, I'm not gonna be mad about it, but I'm not like gonna ask for some. You know what I mean? Just not my vibe.
You ever try something with a little bit of cinnamon on it? I
think so. I don't know. It just always what does eggnog taste like to me? Like bubble gum. Do you feel that at all?
Dude.
I don't know if like I'm
what are you talking about?
Dude, it tastes so. You know what it tastes like to me? Did you ever have? Is it amoxicillin? Is that what the bubblegum medicine was back in the day, growing up?
You really compare it to that? It tastes like it tastes like cereal to me.
Cereal?
Yeah, like a nice cinnamon, like a cinnamon toast crunch, like the leftover cereal from Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That's what it tastes like to me.
Now, perhaps, granted, I haven't just had a proper mug of nog. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I just haven't had anybody do it justice for me. I probably just went to the store and put it in a cup and drink. I think that should taste like amoxicillin, though, if I'm being honest.
You know what? Just get some spiked eggnog, and after a couple cups, you're going to be like, oh, this is great.
So if I get drunk enough, I'll start to think it's good.
Yeah.
Like all things in life.
Yes.
Maybe there's, well, I don't want to sign you up for anything, but maybe there's, I don't know. I feel like there's some room for a holiday really drunk that could be.
Yeah, I think that's like something that needs to happen.
That's something, right?
Yeah.
That just feels like something.
Yeah.
Like drunk holiday party with Connie Goodtime, Naughty Connie.
Yeah, honestly, maybe I'll do that. Just do like a live stream.
I feel like there's something in there. I don't know. We'll figure it out, though.
Wow. It's REELYDAYS for crying out loud.
It's REELYDAYS, you filthy animals. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Got a little bit of horror movie news before we get to Silent Night, Deadly Night. But before we get to that, I got to know, what have you been watching, Connie?
Dude, what have I been watching? I've been watching this new show on HBO Max, which we'll be talking about that streaming service later. But they have a new show on there called Flight Attendant with Kaylee Kuko. Is that her name?
I actually don't know about this at all.
It is good. You've heard me talk about the show Search Party, right?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Great show. It's kind of like that. You know, it's about this flight attendant who, you know, flies everywhere. And she's an alcoholic. Gets really drunk with this guy. Wakes up in bed with him. Slaughtered. So she gets tangled up in this murder conspiracy, and she's trying to figure out who murdered the guy and who set her up. It's very good. Very good like mystery thriller. Definitely check it out. Has some like dark comedy to it. It's really good. What else did I watch? Fuck. Oh, I've been watching the Mission Impossible movies.
Hell yeah.
Beyonce. I posted my ranking of all of them. Proved to be a little bit controversial.
Really?
Yeah. Some people don't think the third one's quite as good as I think it is, but
I could see that.
I like the third one a lot.
I think the third one's definitely better than the second one, for sure. But I don't know if I like the third one rocks because it's got Philip Seymour Hoffman in it.
Yeah, and he plays such a good villain.
Yeah,
like he's terrifying.
He's really good in it, and like outside of that, though, like I don't really remember much about. Like I don't remember like set pieces from it or anything, though. Wait, is that the one where he flies down the giant like water hole?
Water hole.
That's the way I'm saying it. They need to they fill up the like some sort of like computer.
No, that's Rogue.
Okay, you figured out what I was trying to say.
That's Rogue Nation, where he fills up that like underwater like data center.
Yes, thank you for saying that.
Like thrown around it.
He goes in the water hole. I'm not drunk, I'm just very tired. Yeah, I like that, but that's not the third one, so I guess it's a moot point.
But the third one's good.
Yeah, it's good. What do you think's the best one?
Fallout for sure.
I would agree. It's kind of nuts that the newest one's the best one. When does that happen?
Like they just keep getting better with each one.
For real, the next one will probably be even better.
Yeah,
because it's McQuarrie again, right?
Yep, he's doing the next two. But when Henry Cavill just fucking cocks his arms in that bathroom, I get so pumped every time I see it. I'm like, yes.
Reloads his arms. Yeah, that one's great. The plot's so good. The set pieces are amazing. So many good characters are showing up in that movie. Love it. I love Fallout's really good. Yeah, I agree. It's probably the best one.
So that's what I've been watching. What about you? What have you been watching?
As you know what? I don't think I watched anything other than this movie this week. That's just been where I'm at, unfortunately. It's
been one of those weeks.
Winding down on these classes for the semester. I'm turning stuff in, or I'm not turning stuff in, and that's its own issue. It's been a lot. Working and that, and getting ready for this. I think Silent Night Deli Night's been my only time I kicked back and watched anything. I'll be catching up on Mandalorian tomorrow. You started watching that again for like the fifth time, didn't you?
Dude, I finished the first episode. That's about it.
That's as far as you got. Do you think you will go to the second?
I'll try to do it.
Okay, he's gonna try. He's gonna burden himself with trying to watch. I got 3 episodes to catch up on, and Jess and I will be doing that tomorrow. So I've already,
I'll buckle down and just watch them all.
I'm telling you, once it gets moving, like each episode's better than the last. It just keeps getting better and better and better. I've already been spoiled on like all the shit that came out in the last couple weeks because I exist on the internet, so you can't avoid it. But it is what it is. So I'll be catching up on Mando tomorrow. And I haven't watched anything this week other than Silent Night Deadly Night, and that's all right because I'm excited to talk about that later this evening. El Spooky Ghost. First Mission Impossible is the best one. Brian De Palma was a perfect fit. First one's good. I don't know if I say it's the best one.
I think that's the 5th best one, right above.
5th.
Right above the second one.
You just think it's better than the second one?
Yeah, it's definitely better than the second one.
Yeah,
but I mean, the last 4 have just been so good and better than the first 2 that the first 2 are at the bottom. The last 4 at the top.
I might be pretty in line. I might put 3 a little lower than you, but I think
mine goes Fallout 3, Rogue Nation, Ghost Protocol. and then 1 and then 2.
Yeah, I can get down with that. I think Mission Impossible. Now we're just talking about Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible, I think, also is really fascinating because it's been going for so long on the same continuity without reboots or restarts that you can literally see like the culture advance and develop from each even just like from the first one is such like Ghost said, like a De Palma, like it's 90s, like technology, everything's very, I don't want to say analog, but it's, it's very dated. And the next movie, like Limp Bizkit does the song, and it's freaking John Woo, and doves are flying around, and then it becomes a J.J. Abrams thing, and Kanye's doing the song, and it starts to become more modern. Then it gets, I don't want to say more realistic as it goes, but it definitely like acclimates to like James Bond becoming more mature, and like Nolan movies. Like it totally, you see like the trajectory of action films change just by watching that. If you watch nothing else, you could like watch how technology and filmmaking develops just by watching Mission Impossible. And I can't really think of anything else that's like even like Fast and the Furious, which gets like so heightened and goofy and like it's all over the place. Like that's been like we're telling the same story about this character movie to movie to movie to movie, and you follow his insane trajectory. Like I feel like that's very, unless I'm thinking of something glaringly obvious, I think it's very unique to those.
I agree, Matt. JJ definitely saved that franchise since he's still on it, and like he shepherd that. I don't know. Fallout is a really good spy thriller.
Fallout's got some really good. Yeah, it's got some really good fun like twists and turns in it.
Yeah,
and
I think it's very spy thriller. Like it. I think the last one definitely reminds me the most of the first one.
Yeah, I would agree. Because that one's got a lot of good like twists in it, and some of them, well, actually most of them I don't see coming like right from the jump with like the Wolf Blitzer gag at the start and all like right from the, like that one just rocks, dude. Fallout's so good. I can't believe those movies shouldn't be good anymore.
Yeah, it's just like Fast and Furious. Like those are two franchises that have been running so long, but just get better as they go.
Yeah, exactly.
But enough about action movies. This isn't really action.
That would be a hell of a show. We just get like blitzed on G Fuel and just talk about action movies. That'd be something.
Yeah, that's something to think about.
That'd be intense. Let's get into a little bit of news. First story, we're just going to kind of touch on it lightly. First of all, because there's not a ton it's not super duper horror related, but it is definitely obviously related to film release and distribution and all that at large. And also because I expect it'll take up a huge bulk of Real Talk on Sunday. So I'll kind of leave it to really get developed on that show. But we got to talk about Warner Brothers obviously announced that all of their films slated for release in 2021, every single one will be released concurrently on HBO Max, same day as its theatrical release. They will be available on the streaming app for a 30-day streaming window. Whoops, my computer went wild. Sorry about that. For a 30-day window, I couldn't even tell if I was still streaming. I am, thankfully. 30-day window. They'll be revoking their free trial, naturally, because of this. And you will be able to watch these at your leisure at home. You can see it includes things like Godzilla versus Kong and Suicide Squad, the new Conjuring film, the James Wan Giallo, Malignant, and Space, like all the big movies, all blockbuster, huge studio Warner Brothers movies. You'll be able to watch on HBO. Matrix 4, Dune, like just crazy. You'll be able to watch this at home. Again, we'll kind of touch on it lightly, but Connie.
Yeah, I don't want to get into the implications of this, but it's really cool that we're gonna get some like horror. Like there's a lot of horror and genre being dropped in this. I mean, you got Godzilla versus Kong dropping on my birthday. Pretty fucking cool.
Nice.
You got The Conjuring 3 finally coming out.
Yeah.
Dune.
Mortal Kombat next month. What?
It's going to be hard R with fatalities.
Tom and Jerry also hard R with fatalities coming out.
Yes, hell yes. And then you got James Wan's next original film, Malignant.
Yeah. Which that's pretty exciting too. We haven't really talked about that much on the show.
I didn't know that was coming.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see him do something original. Not another sequel, franchise sequel or anything like that. Do something different. This is a huge story. I mean, we really couldn't, even if it's not specifically horror. Couldn't not address that. Waffles just slam a door.
No, that was the fiance.
That was Pickles, because Pickles has thumbs.
Yeah, that was Pickles. She was like, "Fuck this."
I wanted to go to the theaters. Fuck. Well, you still go to the theater. I mean,
you can go to the theater. I mean, I plan, if it's safe to go to the theater, I'm gonna go down the street. I'm gonna watch Dune and Godzilla. I'm still gonna go to the theater, but it's really cool that I can see Godzilla or I can see Dune and then come back home and watch all these movies over and over again for 30 days. Yeah,
I think in a world of trying to make the best ethically sound choice, I feel like this might have been it. It doesn't mean it's not going to come with some consequences. It doesn't mean it's a universally great decision for everybody, but I think it might have been the right move. And it's at the end of the day, it's definitely going to help the consumer out. You know what I mean? Like the audience. This is nothing but good news for the audience, I think. And I'll be watching these movies all the time. So HBO Max going to be a must-have in 2021. Again, I expect there'll be much more conversation about that.
Yeah, I've been a very pro HBO Max from the jump. I even did a little review when it dropped. I was like, this might be my favorite streaming service. At first, the accessibility I wasn't a big fan of, but they've had updates and I love HBO Max. That's probably the streaming service I use the most.
Definitely going to be going forward here.
Yeah.
I wonder if if they said that the price is going to go up on a monthly basis for that.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, it's going to probably, which I guess understandably so, but oh well. Spooky Ghost. There has only been 2 proper Conjuring movies, but there's also been
Conjuring universe.
The
Conjuring universe is great. I don't care what anybody says. I love those movies.
That is where the Annabelle got to 3 before Conjuring did. I never really thought about that. The spinoff got to 3 first, and you have the Nun and what? Yeah.
Well, Annabelle 3 is what Civil War is to the Marvel universe. It's technically a Conjuring movie because you have the Warrens in there.
Yeah.
It's heavily based around the Warrens, but it's not a Conjuring movie. It's
their daughter's the main character, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Warrens are in it. So it's kind of like Civil War where it's a Captain America movie, but the Avengers are in it.
They should do one called Annabelle Civil War. I think that was a cool idea you just had.
Just all the...
I don't know
who would be on your side. I mean, you got the Warrens. Who do you think would be on the Warren side? Do you think Annabelle would be? Do you think the Nun would be?
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's just Warrens versus all the ghosts.
Ooh.
Like a Sinister Six of ghosts. Legion of Doom. So you got Annabelle and the Nun. And what's that dude? The Crooked Man?
The Crooked Man.
And then La Llorona.
Right?
That's canon, right?
Yeah, it's canon.
And the director of that's doing Conjuring 3, not James Wan. So that's canon.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. Who was the ghost in the first one? Did he have a name or something?
I don't remember. But that fucking guy.
Well, maybe that ghost comes back and teams up with the Warrens because the classic, it's they come back and he helps them for some reason.
Yeah, he's like, I'm fucking tired of these knockoff ghosts. I'm the original.
I'm the original ghost, so I'm gonna help you out. There you go.
The Amityville house just waltzing up.
The whole house. That's it. That's the big action set piece at the end when the chips are down and you just hear a rumbling over the hills. It's like Jurassic Park. Ugh, I can't believe we lost Annabelle. And you just see the house climb over it. It's got 2 big arms on it. And it drags itself in. It helps them defeat the ghosts one more time. There's a lot of ghosts in Annabelle Comes Home, too, right? There's a werewolf ghost or something.
Yeah.
There you go. All things to consider. All things to consider. So yeah, make sure you get HBO Max for 2021. Gonna have a lot of great content coming over there. And tune in on Sunday for Real Talk, where I imagine the true analysis of this news will occur, for better or for worse. Now here's some hot horror news. I didn't know this was coming.
Me neither.
Peter Dinklage gonna star in Legendary Pictures' reboot of the Toxic Avenger. They haven't said who Peter Dinklage is playing. Will he be the Avenger himself? Not clear. Of course, if you have not seen the Toxic Avenger, a very campy trauma flick about a guy who falls in some toxic ooze and turns into the Toxic Avenger, fights evildoers with a mop and shit. It's pretty good. It's pretty out there. It's pretty wild. Not what I would expect Legendary Pictures to put out, really. I don't know what this will look like.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds cool though. I'm a big fan of Macon Blair.
Yeah, he's Macon Blair's directing it. You know, he did I Don't Feel Home at This World Anymore, and wrote Hold the Dark, right?
Yeah, he wrote that, and he wrote Blue Ruin.
Oh, that's right. He wrote those movies too. Yeah,
he wrote the Jeremy Solner films, like directed films. So that's Blue Ruin, Green Room, Hold the Dark. He's also in all of those movies.
Yeah.
Fucking kick ass. So I'm stoked on this. If that's any like reflection on what this might be, just very fucking violent.
I would think, it has to be, right? I mean, it is very strange because I think obviously this kind of goes without saying, but so much of like the appeal and charm of the Toxic Avenger is how ridiculous and campy and low budget it all is. It's like the B movie of B movies, you know, it's iconic. Yeah. So I don't know. I imagine relative to like what Legendary puts out, this will still be a low budget movie, but it's not going to be made for change. I mean, just by virtue of Peter Dinklage showing up in it. That dude, you think that dude's not used to getting a good paycheck by now after Game of Thrones? Like, I know you can't just offer him some peanuts and he's going to show up to be the Toxic Avenger, right? So I don't know what this is. I mean, these Legendary puts out like Godzilla and Pacific Rim and these huge action tentpole things. So I don't know what Toxic Avenger looks like. I know
Macon Blair doesn't do anything big budget or hasn't.
And I guess he hasn't really worked on any. I mean, this would be like his first big studio project, won't it?
Yeah, because he's only done like A24 and like smaller studio films. So this will be interesting. I feel like, I mean, if he can make it, like, if anybody can make it work, it'll be him.
It's a cool team, and I mean, Lloyd Kaufman's producing it. Again, obviously the genius, the mastermind behind Troma. And the original Toxic Avenger and the subsequent sequels and all that. So, I mean, a good guiding hand, hopefully. And this, I really just don't know what this will be, and I'm excited to find out what it'll look like. I don't think Dinklage is 110% confirmed for this, but that seems to be where they're going, and they just haven't quite said who he's playing. But I gotta imagine he's playing the Toxic Avenger. I gotta imagine. He's going to fall in some goop.
He's going to fall in some goop.
Maybe, yeah. We'll see.
Really toxic.
New Toxic Avenger on the way. Toxic Avenger going to be like an real-life version of the parody Hollywood take on Chronic and Blood Man. And it could be. I really don't know what this will look like. With some money and some shine and some effects and like I don't know what this is going to look like. And again,
look like Venom.
Yeah, I just don't know I don't know. I'm excited. I guess I'm excited this is coming together. This is going to be a thing, just out of morbid curiosity. And I like Peter Dinklage, so you know that's a good take. I'm excited to see what that is. Cautiously optimistic because I don't know what a studio Toxic Avenger will be like, but this is a cool team. So let's go for it. Let's see what happens. It feels like this is a franchise or a series or whatever want to call it that we're talking about quite frequently at this point, which is the Universal Monster movies. We're getting a new Van Helsing movie. Now that does not mean a Hugh Jackman.
Damn it.
That I'm aware of. But Julius Avery, who directed Overlord, which I thought was a kick-ass original horror film. Julius Avery is going to be directing a Van Helsing film. We've already been talking about this guy. James Wan is producing the film. We've been talking about him quite frequently tonight, and that's a great person to have behind your movie, especially if it's a horror film. And I loved Overlord, so this seems like a solid pick for something like this. What do you think about a new Van Helsing-centric film? What do you think of the Hugh Jackman movie?
The Hugh Jackman movie? Ugh.
I haven't watched it since like whenever it came out initially. So like I was the
2005.
So
there's
like
some trivia for your ass.
Same year as Santa Slay. Good year. Obviously, I was in the market then. I was young enough to think that the movie was awesome, and I did. I haven't revisited it at all, so I don't know if I would still think that.
Oh, you have an untainted view on the movie.
Have you recently watched Hugh Jackman's Van Helsing?
I've seen it plenty of times since I've seen it originally and thought it was awesome, and now it does not hold up.
Oh, man, no?
It's very bad.
I feel like in theory, like, that's a kind of a cool idea. A movie about Van Helsing and like Dracula shows up and the Frankenstein shows up and like all those characters get to work.
It doesn't in this case. But the news sounds awesome. I mean, Overlord was amazing. Loved that.
Yeah, I loved Overlord.
James Wan is great. So it's gonna be good. I have faith.
I think so. I mean, it seems like they're getting way too cocky on this Universal thing. Like
definitely.
It seems like it's all predicated on how well Invisible Man did, where they're just like, shit, we nailed it. Let's just every week it's like you get one, you want to make one, no big deal. You make one, like, and that's not to say that it seems like every time they.
So which one? Let's see. Which one has the best? Not the best chance to fail. Which one is most likely to fail and cause everything announced to be scrapped?
I mean, you know my like philosophy on when studios and franchises get all like high and mighty on this shit. It's like I'm skeptical that all these movies will exist. Like if even half of these movies will end up existing, and which is funny because Universal learned this lesson the hard way already, especially with these characters. And I also wonder if this Van Helsing thing is a holdover from the Dark Universe, because it seems like that would have been the movie to make of like, and somebody in this boardroom is like, we need like an Iron Man. We need a Batman. It's Van Helsing. And there it is. Like, I wonder if that was a holdover. Of all the movies that we know about, it's almost hard to keep track of them. I think the Dracula one sounds dope. Karen Kusama.
The Wolfman is going to be awesome.
Wolfman sounds fantastic.
I think the one that has the greater chance of failing would be the Paul Feig Dark Army. That's
also one I could just see not happening because it's like it's a made up. They're all made up, but it's like a different thing. It's not a Dracula.
It's going to be using these characters,
which seems very risky. And I know these characters have existed, on and off since the 30s. So like, I think audiences can handle seeing different takes. It's not like Avengers where they're like, well, here's another Thor movie, but it's a different Thor. People feel like, what? I don't think that necessarily would happen for these, but it is still, they're very gung-ho about.
Yeah, I think they should stick with these kind of singular art house style, very character-driven horror films, they're doing, like they did with Invisible Man, and like they're doing with Dracula and the Wolfman, and then go from there. If they want to expand on those characters or bring them together, then do that. But goddamn,
I'd just say like cool it, Invisible Man rocked, loved it.
Like you did this like 4 years ago.
Because they did it well. They've tried this. Like, they tried to get things back on track. Like they did the Wolfman movie with Benicio del Toro, right?
Yeah,
that was their first attempt, I guess, at doing Dark Universe, from what I understand. Then Dracula Untold, their second one, that didn't work out. Then The Mummy, and that didn't work out. And I feel after Invisible Man, it was like, okay, they're abandoning that idea of it. big franchise. We'll just do self-contained movies. But now, there's nothing to suggest that these are all franchised out and in continuity with each other, but it still feels like spiritually they're trying to do that thing of like, we're going to put out 3 movies a year with these characters. And it's like,
they really should have just given these properties to Jason Blum and said, here.
Yeah. And he probably could. I mean, with their model and how frequently they do put out movies every year, they could, I guess, achieve that effect and maybe do it in a way that feels fresh and doesn't have all this.
Let's be honest. Universal isn't the reason that Invisible Man was good.
No.
It was Blumhouse and Leigh Whannell.
The greatest thing Universal did on that was probably get out of the way.
Yeah, exactly. And let Jason Blum and Leigh Whannell do what they wanted with it.
Yeah.
And make the movie they wanted to make. That's why that movie's good. Because it wasn't forced to be anything other than what they wanted to make. And that's what they need to do with the rest of these. I mean, do we know if Dracula and Wolfman are Blumhouse? Or is that just Universal?
I think they're just Universal. Let me see. Wolfman, the double monitor, man. I can just instantly fact check. I think Wolfman is Blumhouse. Yes, Blumhouse is producing Wolfman. I think they're producing Dracula too. Let's see. Let's pop it in. This is our show now at Google on stream. Blumhouse, Dracula. Yep, Blumhouse is doing the Dracula movie too.
Okay, so those two are guaranteed to be good.
And they've got great teams on them.
Yeah, those are guaranteed to be good. These offshoots that they're doing without Blumhouse could be kind of bad.
I see a chair. Elizabeth Banks. Is that a movie? Invisible Banks and Elizabeth Banks, Invisible Woman? Is that? Oh, how did we miss? Has this happened? We missed this?
Wait, that's a thing?
Elizabeth Banks directing and starring in The Invisible Woman? What? How did we miss this? Where were we? What were we doing? We talk about this shit every week.
Clearly not giving a fuck about this. This sounds horrible.
Well, I don't know anything about it. Let's find out. I'll open up the Deadline article right now. This
breaking news.
Breaking news from November. Wait, what? This is from a year ago. Okay, this might not be happening, right? They announced this November 26th last year. That's why we didn't talk about it, because we didn't exist yet. Okay, I feel a little bit better.
Yeah, this isn't happening anymore.
Because this is before they even put out Invisible Man. So this feels like this hasn't gone into production or anything, right?
No, this isn't.
It would be out by now.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Put in development, what the producer, the Brownstone Productions, which is Pitch Perfect and Charlie's Angels. Yeah,
no, because Charlie's Angels has come out since then, since that article was released, and failed miserably.
Yeah,
they're not giving Elizabeth Banks any existing property. That's not happening. I think we can agree that's not happening.
We would certainly know by now if it was. They're probably, because Invisible Man did so well, it's almost to their probably best interest to not do if they're going to do more, do Invisible Man 2, not Invisible Woman. But I think Invisible Man 2 would be Invisible Woman. It'd just be Elizabeth Moss and not Elizabeth Banks, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I don't know what that movie would be either, but people have obviously speculated that movie's getting made as well. And yeah, Wolfman's from the director of Invisible Man, so we go, yeah, Leigh Whannell rules. He also upgrade. He is like batting 100 as far as I can tell so far. And got Ryan Gosling. Again, great team. I mean, I don't see outright any reason that I suspect any of these will fail from where I'm standing right now. So far, everything we know about all these sounds good, including Van Helsing. Like I was clowning on a little bit, but it's got a good team on it. I think there's room to try that character in its own movie. Absolutely. No doubt. Silly Hugh Jackman movie notwithstanding. So I'm just like, it just feels nuts that we're talking about Universal monster movies every week at this point. It feels like they're going to have to learn this lesson the hard way when they start putting these out. And they might all be good, but even still, if they put them all out in the same year or whatever, one of them's going to get burnt. I don't know. It's just like that. What is that? Is that The Simpsons or like, how many times we got to teach you this lesson, old man? I don't know. I feel like that's them. But maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong because all these movies so far sound good. Even the Paul Feig thing, I'm like that.
Yeah, I think it sounds good. I'm just trying to figure out what is. There's gonna be something that's gonna set them back.
No, you know what I still think doesn't sound very good is I forget just Bride of Frankenstein.
Oh yeah,
that one. Who I forget. Is it David
Marshall?
Coep?
David Coep?
Coep. That's it. Yeah, he's writing that one.
Yeah.
He's written a lot of stuff. He's written some good stuff. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
He's written some good stuff. He's also written some hot garbage.
I don't know about that. Then their whole take on it sounds weird, where it's about like influencers or something. I don't know.
Oh God.
I don't know. That's that Sony thing of like, how do we put Snapchat in Spider-Man? Like, you don't have to do that. Just
how can we cross over 21 Jump Street and Men in Black?
Okay, but that sounded like a sweet idea.
No, that idea is sweet, and I'm still pissed it didn't happen.
Yeah, when they just announced that thing where they were like, we're doing a new 21 Jump Street movie, and it was like, we're rebooting it. And I was like, I thought they were going to announce Men in Black.
Yeah.
That would have been a good idea. Oh, well. Lastly, last little story before we get into our Silent Night, Deadly Night discussion. There's another story we've been kind of following and catching developments on throughout the last couple months. It's that Clive Barker has won the legal case, the legal battle to get back the rights to Hellraiser, Hellbound Heart, his original novella, and the original film from 1987. But it's one of those weird things where it's like he owns those, but he doesn't own the movies afterwards. But starting, what is it? And I know it's December next year. December, where'd it go? December 19th, 2021. He will have all the rights back to the film and the book. And going forward, any Hellraiser project will need his approval and his permission to go into production. So it's finally one of these guys wins these things.
Yeah.
We've been saying for was that true? Bride of Frankenstein's A24? What? How's that possible?
Is that real?
How's that possible? You pull it up in your dual monitor. How's that possible? Because it's a Universal thing, right? I mean, I guess Frankenstein's public domain, so they could do that, right? I don't know. Clive Barker's got the rights to the Hellraiser back. This is great. We've been climbing for like again and again and again on these things. Like lawyers need to sort the shit out. We're tired of movies.
So this is a completely different one than what we were talking about.
I don't know. It's competing Bride of Frankenstein films.
Yes. Hold on. Let me go ahead and compare them.
Okay, here we go. The big comparison. That seems one of them's gonna have to give up, right? You can't do two. That's when we're talking fatigue. I think 2 Bride of Frankenstein movies coming out like in the same year that'd be too many brides. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so let's see. We got the David Coep written one. That's for Universal.
Yeah.
Directed by Bill Condon, who did Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
So that's Universal's.
He also did, I think, one of the Twilights. Am I right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Hell yeah! Salute.
Let's see here. So yeah, that's that one. I don't see what that one's about though.
Frankenstein's Wedding.
It's a twisted little number. That's all I said about it.
A twisted little number.
The Scarlett Johansson one for A24. It's directed by Sebastian Lelio. It's called Bride. It's A24 and Apple TV Plus.
What is all this shit?
It's modern reworking of Bride of Frankenstein.
Huh.
Let me see.
Is this what happens when like movies stop coming out?
Modern, in fact, that her creator will be a wealthy tech CEO who has fashioned a lady out of raw materials exclusively for himself.
Maybe that's the one.
Woman created to be an ideal wife. The singular obsession of a brilliant entrepreneur rejects her creator and is forced to flee her confined existence, confronting a world that sees her as a monster. It is on the run that she finds her true identity, her surprising power, and the strength to remake herself as her own creation. That's the influencer one you're talking about.
Okay.
I guarantee.
So I sort of did know about that one, but I mixed them up. See, look, I'm in the business of knowing about this stuff, and even I can't keep track of it.
Yeah, that's fucking. I don't know about that.
That's the Universal one, or that's the A24 one?
That was the A24 one.
Oh, that's weird. Okay. We'll see. I don't know. I feel like the people are just making shit up now. They're like, I don't know. We might make this when we can. People are making movies, so like, I don't know. Speak it into existence. Maybe we'll make this, or maybe we won't. We'll see. Oh, you just look so stressed. I'm sorry. Aye. So yeah, Clive Barker's got the rights back to Hellraiser. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. And still confused. So the series and the movie are separate, correct?
Yes, but they're both still happening, and the series is produced by Clive Barker. So that's a ringing endorsement. That's the first time he's had anything to do with one of these, I believe, since the first one.
That's probably why he only got the first one back, because he was like, "That's the only one I care about. The rest of them are fucking garbage. I don't want them."
I think it's a thing where like that was a direct adaptation of his novella, or I think he wrote the script for it. Maybe that's what it was. He had a screenwriting credit, so he was able to get the rights back to that. But he doesn't have the rights to the other ones. But like you said, I don't think he's going to be too bent out of shape about that. But it doesn't make me. It sounds like when I read that, I thought, okay, so can whatever studio can distribute Hellraiser sequels, like will they make Hellraiser sequels with Pinhead not in them? Like, will they just make the worst fucking Hellraiser movies they can? But it sounds like they can't even do that. So
yeah, it'd be very hard for them to do that, because anything mentioned or seen in the first one, they wouldn't be able to use, correct?
Yeah.
Most of them use all of those except like the last one, and they introduce like new creatures and stuff, but then it's not really Hellraiser then.
And part of the deal, I guess, is he has to sign off on everything Hellraiser going forward. So cool. One of these stories actually works out and has a happy ending. The creator of Hellraiser is in charge of Hellraiser. Great. I'm glad that something like this finally happened. And we might actually get good Hellraiser content for the first time in a very, very long time. That's not straight to bargain bin junk.
And longer than 70 minutes.
Right. Yeah. He did saw the chat. That director did A Fantastic Woman. That was good. Enjoyed that.
I don't think I watched that.
That was shoot. Did that win the foreign language Oscar that year? Am I thinking of the right film? I think I'm thinking of the right film. To make Clive Barker's The Mummy from the 90s that was turned down. He wrote A Mummy to direct, and they went with Brendan Fraser. Shake my head. Well, we won't take any Brendan Fraser shade on this show.
Yeah, because Brendan Fraser is a true 90s icon, and just waiting for that renaissance of Brendan Fraser. What a fantastic guy.
We love Brendan on the show, but I don't disagree. If in a world where they keep making these monster movies, if Clive Barker's going to take on The Mummy, it's only been 3 years since the last Mummy, so they got to think it's time to make another one. Talk to him. That'd be cool. I'd be interested to see how that goes.
Yeah, bring back Tom Cruise, have him run around a little bit more.
Have him run around a little bit more, but have him getting chased by Brendan Fraser. I think that was his idea. I think it was Clive Barker's idea in his original manuscript. That's all our horror movie news. That's it. It's time to talk about Silent Night, Deadly Night. So what do you say we get into
Garbage Day?
That's how we cut. And now into the next segment. Garbage Day. Of course, Garbage Day is not in the first Silent Night, Deadly Night film. It's not, but it is a scene that lives in infamy on its own. I really did think about picking the second film, but it's like hardly a movie. It's very notorious for that, but the second film is like half made up of archival footage of the movie that we're talking about. And there's kind of a reason for that. and we can kind of get into it as we talk about the film, because this is interesting, because we so often only talk about new release films. That's kind of been the method or the strategy of the show. The format of the show has been, talking about the latest and greatest horror movies and seeing what we think about them, and kind of giving you like fresh reviews, like should you watch this, yes or no type reviews. But this is a movie from 1984, so this has been out. It has been digested and thought about and talked about, and it's had a impact on the culture and horror movie community for decades now. So this is kind of a different, we kind of look at it as a whole, not just like, this is the plot and this is what happened and we like this or we don't like this. Like, we can look at this whole movie. So we're talking about Silent Night, Deadly Night, released in 1984, a Christmas-themed holiday slasher film.
Naughty.
Connor, in a nutshell, or in a chestnut, what would you say this film's about? Naughty.
It's about naughty. It's about being naughty on Christmas.
Getting punished for being naughty.
So basically, this child, Billy, right? That's his name, Billy?
Yeah, I think so.
He's coming back from visiting his psychotic grandfather.
Yo, the grandpa is so good. What did you think about him?
He's pretty good.
Because you've never seen this film before, correct? This is your first time watching it.
First time.
Fantastic.
So he's coming back from visiting his psychotic grandpa, and then gets stopped by a killer Santa Claus on the road. His parents get stopped by a killer Santa Claus. They get gunned down, and that's the kind of inciting incident, and he's traumatized by that. He watched his parents get murdered in front of him. So him and his baby brother get sent into like an orphanage.
A nunnery.
A nunnery.
A Catholic orphanage, right?
He grows up to be a stock boy and a. He grows up to
be 35 years old.
At 18. At 18, he's 35.
Yeah.
That
amazing.
At a toy store, stocking toys, and then he kind of snaps when he has to play Santa Claus. And then he goes on a murder spree.
Man, the deck was stacked against Billy from the beginning, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. I do like how he laid out Santa Claus when he was like 8.
He laid him out?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean when they make him sit on his lap?
Yeah, and he just fucking punches Santa Claus like clean off his stool, just knocks him out.
He rocks him, but something they establish, which tracks throughout the movie, that scene, is Billy's super strong.
Yeah, he is. He's very
strong. Billy's a freaking juggernaut, dude. This movie
give some backstory on the movie.
So this is like an ugly movie, man. This is very much kind of a product. Again, it's really fun to be able to watch a movie from the 80s, because I think it's just so much more rough around the edges, like this. If you made this movie now, and there was a remake, I think a couple years ago, I haven't seen. I think it's just called Silent Night. But if you made this movie now, there'd be a lot of different decision making in it, and I'm sure you could make a version of this movie now that would be good, but it wouldn't feel like this, which is just like a nasty, ugly movie, just tasteless as hell. And that
had any taste.
It's just void of class. And that's okay. That's why we're talking about it, because we like movies like that. Just fucking gritty. So this movie came out in 1984. It actually came out the exact same day as the original Nightmare on Elm Street. And interestingly enough, this movie I think it debuted on more screens, but this was actually doing better than Nightmare on Elm Street, which is funny because it's such a pillar of horror movie fandom and culture now. It's funny to think that Silent Night, Deadly Night almost maybe apexed it at some point.
Yeah, it's when I read that and they said that if it wasn't pulled out of theaters, which we'll talk about in a little bit, I'll let you talk about that it would have made more money than Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah,
imagine that like alternate timeline where we
had Silent Night, Dream Child,
Billy versus Jason.
That would have been a good one.
Imagine if Billy managed to become that. I mean, Billy, I don't know if Billy himself is, but like Killer Santa is kind of like an iconic figure from these movies. There's a bunch of sequels. I've not seen all the sequels or anything, but I've seen this and I know about Garbage Day. But yeah, when this film originally came out, it was only in theaters for about a week. That wasn't the plan, but it was so controversial in its time, on account of the fact that it was upsetting to children. It was upsetting to parents because advertisements would run. I don't have the advertisement, but of imagery like this of Santa Claus chasing people with an axe. This movie's I don't have it pulled up, but this movie has a great poster art of this kind of scary Santa arm coming out of a chimney with a fire axe. These very upsetting advertisements running in the paper and on television during like every day, during the football game, I feel like was the sort of classic example of what was really, they were running ads for Silent Night, Deadly Night during the game, and like families gathered around TV watching it. And they see Santa, and he's a killer. He's scary. He's chasing people with an axe. He's got a gun. He's hijacking cars. He's scary. He's a killer. He's Michael Myers. He's Jason Voorhees. So it's very upsetting because kids were scared of Santa as a result of this film. And it became very controversial. Parents were in an uproar. They're like a letter writing campaign. You can find the letters online are great. Like a whole letter writing campaign was spawned out of it of like, this film is an abomination. It taints the very spirit of Christmas. My kids are afraid of Santa. They don't want him to come on Christmas. They won't sit on his lap. They're scared of Santa. We cannot allow this. We got to take Christmas back. So there was like a whole letter writing campaign, and things published in the newspaper, and they actually, these like PTA groups would
fucking
protest.
Snowflakes.
Well, 'tis the season. These PTA groups, it is kind of funny because it is sort of like a precursor of like cancel culture, right? Would gather outside of theaters in droves and protest these films, this anywhere this film was screening, by singing Christmas carols and dressing up like Santa. I do have pictures of some of the protests. People gathered outside of the theater. That's what I love too. They got these kids out there like in the cold, like they don't know why they're
protest this movie.
Yeah, like
all right, we love Santa.
Like Santa is sacred. I love that sign. Santa is not a murderer.
He is not a murderer. In case you did not know, from Miracle on 34th Street, he's not a murderer.
Just so you know, this is an inaccurate story about Santa Claus. He's not a murderer. But they protested it, and it worked. They took this movie out of circulation. It was only out in theaters for a week, which is funny because I think so much of like the generation previous to ours, I feel like they really do like, oh, we you're a bunch of babies. We were hard and we didn't complain. We didn't like something.
Because it takes World War III being threatened to take a movie out of theaters.
That's true. Yeah,
they're pissed off about Santa Claus. It's not even Santa Claus. It's someone dressed as Santa Claus. It's not like Santa Claus was like just woke up in the North Pole one day and was like, I'm gonna murder a bunch of people in Utah. Let's fucking go. Like, no, it's about a guy who dresses up as Santa Claus. Nobody's gonna see that and be like, fuck.
But the kids, Connor,
those people,
the kids can't tell the difference. You know what I mean?
Why are you taking your kid to this movie? There's a lot of tits.
They were taking the kids to the movie. The thing was that the ads that would run on TV.
Oh.
And I kind of get it because it's not like they were running in like in the middle of the night during like adult like during Skinamax hours. Like they would run
that because I remember when they showed a lot of commercials for Kangaroo Jack and they show the kangaroo talking all the time. And I saw Kangaroo Jack and there's 5 seconds of a talking kangaroo. And I got really fucking pissed. They should have pulled that fucking movie.
They should have. You should have shown up. But by the way, the kangaroo in this movie, he doesn't talk.
Pull the fucking movie.
Pull it out.
Sue them. I think someone sued a movie studio because of false advertising.
I know that one does have to have like I don't remember what it is, but I know that one does have to have a fascinating story of like how and why they decided to try and market it as a talking kangaroo movie, and then it's not that. I agree. That was what I was getting at, kind of Ghost. That's why the whining about cancel culture, like it's a new thing, is stupid. It's been going on forever, and mostly from conservatives. I mean, that's what it is. It's very sort of suburbanite, church on Sunday type families. I kind of get though, because like I was saying, that these ads would be running during like afternoon primetime evening television on your like major networks. Like I could kind of get why that would be irresponsible, but again, it's kind of on the parents, I think, to let's do a better job of moderating what our kids watch and what they're exposed to, instead of saying, you know what, my kid got scared, so no one watches this movie, it's banned. We're gonna go outside, I'm gonna take my kids, they're gonna freeze their ass off to say we don't like this movie. But it was a thing. Siskel and Ebert, God rest their souls, went on television and were so upset. You can find the footage of this online too. It's kind of a great clip, but like Siskel is like reading out the names of all the producers on the film, like first and last name, to publicly shame them. And like says like, what you've made is an abomination and you shouldn't be proud because every dollar you make from this is blood money. That's what he said. Blood money.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Like people were really upset about this thing. And it's kind of, and it's funny because it's just like a dopey slasher movie, with a Christmas theme on it. But the world was in arms about Silent Night, Deadly Night. So it was removed from theaters, and obviously that made it a thing people wanted to seek out, and they couldn't get it because this isn't, you couldn't just go on Tubi and watch it. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't just get it. So I was mentioning the sequel and why it is the way that it is.
Day.
Because they tried to re-release the movie, and so like the sequel's bookended by like new footage of that guy who's Billy's little brother. And now he's gone nuts. And so it's like bookended by footage of him while also using like archival footage from this movie because they were re-releasing it for new people to watch it, and then like filmed so much extra footage that they were like, well, this is just a whole new movie. But if you watch, it's still, if you watch the second one, it's hardly a movie. So even though it's got that legendary scene in it, it just wasn't. I didn't think it made sense to pick it as like the conversation, but it's sort of related. But everybody knows Garbage Day. It's the big. If this has really contributed anything to the zeitgeist of film, it's Garbage Day because it is a legendary clip. So that's kind of the background on Silent Night, Deadly Night, and I think how it becomes so notorious and distinct, and why people come back to this movie. Whereas if it just, I don't know, if it just came out uninterrupted, who knows? Because it was doing well, actually. People were going to watch the serial killer Santa movie, and it's not even the first of its kind. I mean, Black Christmas, the original, comes out almost 10 years prior to this?
Yeah,
8 years prior to this. So it's not like it'd never been done before. I guess this one's a little more aggressively Santa Claus, Naughty. That's great. So this movie, this had been the first time I'd seen it in a long time. Yeah, I always get mixed up. For a while, I got mixed up whether I even had seen it or if I was confusing it with Garbage Day or what. But no, this movie's like, put it in modern terms, this is like Christmas Joker. You know what I mean?
No, can you explain?
Because it's like, it's a slasher. I guess it's kind of groundbreaking in this way. It's a slasher movie, but it's not about the person who's going to be victimized. I mean, I guess it kind of is about somebody being victimized psychologically, but there is no Laurie Strode in it, or like Tommy Jarvis, or like that character you're following who's eventually going to show down with evil Santa Claus. It's like evil Santa Claus is the main character, and you just watch this dude get shit on from like age 5 on, and it never gets better. Like, it is his creepy grandfather, who I submit is the creepiest part of the movie. This is
Oh yeah,
who pretends he's like he's like vacant. He's absent in his mind. He doesn't talk until he's alone with Bill, and he's like, "You gotta be good, Billy, or Santa's gonna come punish you. Don't be naughty." Like, that's traumatizes the kid for the rest of his life. Like, Grandpa hasn't talked to anybody in years. Slayer, what serial killer is that on your wall? Are you talking about this? Are you talking about this? And this is I don't actually have any horror art up behind me. This is a Fight Club poster, and this is it for a short film called Murmur that I wrote, and my man over here on the screen directed, and the most handsome man on the channel, Nick Molbach, was a cinematographer for. It was a film we made in college. So if you were asking what serial killer is on your wall, I'll tell you his name is John Maslowski. He's a wonderful actor from Cleveland. Black Christmas is also named. Oh, killer is named Billy. We need a Billy versus Billy movie. Now that's something. BVB. Dawn of Christmas. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Billy gets shit on his whole life, and it's like we're following his psychological journey into how somebody snaps and becomes a Santa Claus themed serial killer. And to me, watching it again now, I was like, oh, that's what Joker did, right?
Oh, that's true.
You know, it's like, what would it take? What kind of life would somebody have to lead? What kind of hardship would they experience to where they hit such a rock bottom state?
But this guy kind of snapped quicker. Like, all it took was a shitty kid.
Well, to be fair, he does see his parents get murdered by Santa Claus.
Well, yeah.
Which is kind of Batman in its own right.
Yeah. I mean, he's doing fine. You know, he's managing it.
He's doing his best.
And then he has to dress up as Santa Claus. And then he has to traumatize another kid. Fucking stop it.
I love that. You gotta stop it. You gotta stop being naughty, or Santa's gonna come punch you, little girl. You gotta stop. And then they cut to her mom on the side, like, God, he's so good. He just gets him to do what he wants. He's amazing. And Mr. Sims, he rules. Mr. Sims is like all of us who have ever worked holiday retail, where it's like
he's like, we're fucking closed. Let's get drunk.
Let's get shit-faced. As soon as like this door closes on Christmas Eve, Mr. Sims is good. Yeah, I thought it's kind of wild that I don't know if the people, the nuns, what is her, Mother Superior, and her whole squad, did they not get a memo that like, hey, this kid, he doesn't really remember it because he has fully formed PTSD, but he definitely watched a guy dressed like Santa murder his parents in the street. So like, cool it on Christmas around him, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the younger nun knew it because they were like, didn't they call her and they were like, yeah, he had to be Santa.
Yeah.
Like, oh fuck.
She's like, oh shit, I think I gotta drive up.
I gotta go down there.
Yeah, she was kind of his like the Loomis to his Michael Myers. A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the only one in the entire movie who's after his parents are murdered. She's the only one who's even kind of nice to him, and we don't even really get to see that because by the time she sees him again, he's dead. But that was like the only attempt. I mean, I guess Mr. Sims is all right to him, except he makes him be Santa, which again I'm like, so yeah, I guess I don't know.
Yeah, did they not be like? It's a toy store, and parents get kids toys for Christmas. Like, you think the nun would be like, just keep him in the back so he doesn't have to see Christmas shit?
Or even just like, oh, you're going to have a Santa in here? Never mind. We'll find Billy a different job. He can work at Home Depot or something.
He can work at home.
Yeah, he can work remotely. I also love that scene where the younger nun is trying to get him a job, and she's talking to Mr. Sims, and she's like, yeah, we got this kid Billy, and we were trying to find him a temporary job for the holiday. You got anything like that? And he's like, well, no, I don't have a job for kids. I gotta haul heavy boxes. Sorry. She's like, okay. And then like, it's such a weird, like Billy shows up, and he's like, Mr. Sims is like, oh, you didn't tell me the kid was fucking older than me. He's like a goddamn lumberjack. Like, nobody actually says it out loud. It's just this weird, awkward scene of them like all looking at each other. And I didn't really like the energy's so weird. I don't know if like he's like intimidated.
It's very weird, like just super low budget. Like, it's bad.
But it's great. That's kind of the charm of it.
Yeah.
This is such a
It's a prime example of so bad it's good.
A very gritty 80s movie where it's just like you can just like feel the cigarette butts like put out on the screenplay. You know what I'm saying? Like there's like 3 different scenes where a character just suddenly like becomes a total rapist and like is ripping clothes off.
Yeah.
A lot. That's just some weird symptom of the era that it's made in. I don't know. Like that just became how you communicated it. So, like there was no.
This person's bad. You want to know how bad?
Yeah. Suddenly he's a rapist. Like that was the even for the first scene. It's like evil Santa. Okay, what is he even doing out there? First of all, it's very dark because he kills a man over like $31 at the convenience store. But we never find out what happened to that Santa Claus. I don't know. He steals. What did he even want from Billy's family? He
literally nothing. Like which the motivation is very strange because he was robbing like convenience stores.
Yeah.
For $31. Like you didn't think he would revert to creating a diversion in the middle of like a back road waiting for someone to roll up just to kill them and then rape the mom and then try to kill the kid.
Yeah, I don't know. And then that never comes back. We never like no. I don't know if that comes back in sequels in any capacity. Like we ever figure out what happened to that guy, but he's just on a Santa rampage and like okay, he's stealing money. Like I kind of get like I see what that is, but I don't know. He's just wandering out in the middle of nowhere, killing people. But that's this movie is just like kind of senseless mayhem, which I guess is what was so upsetting for Siskel and Ebert and the PTA groups all across the country, because it is pretty brutal. It's very overly gritty. Definitely feels. It is from a different time, obviously, but you could sense it as much. And also I don't know, this is a random sort of tangent, but because I was saying this movie was streaming on Shudder. I was wrong. Sorry. That's fake news. It was not streaming on Shudder. The other one was. Just that one was. So I had to rent a copy for $2. Was yours like cutting back and forth between like 2?
Yeah, you know what that is? All right, so this version is technically the uncut version.
Oh, okay.
And those like very like grainy and like shitty quality like chunks, those were recovered in like the warehouse, but they were so like damaged because the studio was like, we're never gonna fucking do shit with Silent Night, Deadly Night. Like so they didn't really upkeep those like film canisters, so they were so poorly damaged. Like that's the best they could do in recovering it.
Okay, interesting. I knew there had to be something there because it's very apparent when it happens. You'll go from kind of not quite an HD, but like
pretty like 720 standard def.
It's clearly kind of cleaned up over the years, and then it goes back to just some like shitty like artifact covered, super low res. The colors all different and washed out, and then just cut back. So I don't know. I wonder if that's just the version that's out. Like if you get this on Blu-ray right now, is that what it looks like as well? I wonder.
Yeah, that's like the version that's on like readily available. I don't think you can find the theatrical version anymore.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Billy ends up at a nunnery as a kid. They're super harsh on him, man. Like
yeah, he's spying on some fucking teens.
Oh yeah, and again, this is such an 80s slasher. There's so much like unnecessary.
That dude's ass was hairy.
Yeah, you get this. You see Billy's hairy ass too, and his.
Oh yeah, it was Billy's hairy ass. I remember that. Okay.
Yeah, they really hold tight on his hairy ass.
Yeah, it pans up, and then it really holds tight on his hairy ass, hair pouring out of his ass.
His unkempt 1984 ass. Yeah, there's a lot of but that's what's kind of charming. After the fact is like this is such a movie, like this is so an 80s horror movie. Like there's all this again. It's like post right. Is this before Friday the 13th? When the first Friday the 13th?
Friday the 13th 80, isn't it?
It's in 1980. Let's get the dual monitor because I feel like it's got to be after because it feels so much. Okay, yeah, 1980. Yeah, straight up 1980.
I am fucking good, dude. I am good.
You're good. You're good. I'm really shitty on release dates and years and things like that.
I'm really good at release dates.
Okay. Yeah. So you can feel I'm not surprised because you can feel every bit of Friday the 13th in this. So many close-ups on boobs. So many boobs in this.
Yeah, there's a lot of A lot of bub.
That's something like modern horror films don't do, is just boobs everywhere anymore.
Yeah, you don't think you would see a 2021 version of this where Santa picks up where a teenager walks out the front door shirtless with Daisy Dukes on in the middle of winter.
I did love, yes, when he kills
by Santa and hung on a taxidermy deer.
Yeah, I do love that part with Linnea Quigley where, yeah, she puts her pants on to go answer the door, but not her shirt, and then her boyfriend runs up there. He does put a shirt on. It just a lot of strange places.
Notice he walks directly into the room. Right here is the hanging body, and he looks around. He's like, huh? And then finally locks eyes with the dead body. It's like, dude, it's right in front of you. You should have saw that when you were walking forward.
Good fun kill scenes in this though. Like very from the, not all of them are, but a good number of them are very tied into like the concept of this is a Christmas slasher. Like the first one is him. It's very clumsy. He's like choking a guy with one hand, but also choking him with string lights, but also a hand. It's like hanging him with it. Like it doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, he's got the string lights holding them up while he's choking him.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's like Christmas kill right out of the gate. And that does precede again another scene where a man goes suddenly without warning. It becomes a violent rapist and rips a woman's shirt off. It just keeps happening in this movie.
Yeah, it does.
But that's sort of these gross 80s grindhousey type films. It's definitely one of those. But there's that one. The whole sequence in the toy store that night is pretty great. It's like people just keep running up and get knocked down. Because eventually, he goes with the box cutter to the woman he's interested in. That's the other thing. He's all interested in this woman that works at the toy store. And he's got dreams. He's having sensual dreams, but he's all repressed because he thinks sex is bad because he got beat by a nun when he spied on people in his orphanage having sex. On like a pile of trash, by the way. I don't know if you saw it. They were in a very gross looking room. They're just like having sex. I was like, what is this room in this orphanage? They have like a dirty mattress trash room. Who are these people? How did they get it? What is going on? Who are these people who are just hogging it in here? But so like he's got so much trauma and he's so repressed, and like nobody's being fair to this kid who watched his parents get murdered by Santa Claus. Like nobody's like, hey, maybe take it easy on Billy. He's his psyche's a little fragile, right? Like maybe don't beat him with a belt. Maybe don't make him sit on Santa's lap, because you know what? He probably is gonna give him a haymaker and break his fucking nose. He just backs up. Bow!
Right. He fucking knocks that much older Santa Claus out.
It's insane. He gets him. He's like, holy shit. Yeah, just, and everywhere this kid goes, man, it's Santa everywhere. It's like it's freaking it's
She's
Christmas.
A fat fuck on like a banner.
Christmas every day where this kid goes. It's like we only see him during Christmas as he keeps growing up, but it's always Christmas wherever Billy is. Like he needs to be put in like a protection program where they don't celebrate Christmas.
What, Florida?
Yeah, I don't know where you would go.
Probably not the snowiest, one of the snowiest states.
Yeah, he has a hard time, and they shouldn't put him in a job where Santa's around, and then he has to be Santa, and he's too repressed to tell anybody what he's been. And he also clearly like can't really remember most of it. It's like he gets triggered by these little things, like his dreams, and he remembers like what happened that night that his parents died. And finally, he just snaps. How does he kill? Mr. Sims gets a hammer to the head. That's right.
Yeah, he takes a hammer and fucking.
I mean, I like Mr. Sims. I was mourning him because he's just like, let's get wasted. I hate retail. I hate Christmas. I hate kids. Like, why are you in this business, you weirdo? And then the woman who works there as well with the bow and arrow. That was great as well.
Yeah, just right through her.
that whole sequence was great. The music in this is like hilarious because it just sounds like somebody's just banging on all the keys. Like it just, you can like see the synthesizer and he's like ding, 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 ding. Like it's such a chaotic 80s synth score, just all over the place. Yeah, the scene on the Leanna Quigley and the sex on the pool table. It's so abundantly.
It's like how we adopted like the catchphrase, like after the toys, like the Toy Store scenes, he's just telling everybody they're naughty.
Naughty.
Like the sled rider.
That was again great. Yeah. I love those guys because they're like sled thieves. That's their thing. They're like sled bullies. So like they're these big bad guys. And they're like out in the woods, like targeting people. And what's their thing? They're like, I'm going to take your sled because I want to go down the hill. Like, it's their thing. Like they don't steal their money or like beat them up. They're like, get out of here. No, it's our turn. And they just sled down the hill and they're like, woohoo.
Billy's watching. Naughty.
Too naughty. He hops out of nowhere. Just, that's a great scene. Obviously putting her on the antlers was terrific.
Yeah, busting down the door to that house and yelling, naughty, naughty.
It's very kind of almost like Kool-Aid Man-esque of it. It's just like naughty, just minding your business, and this dude plows through your wall. Naughty, like you're minding your own business. He truly is a Santa. He just always knows. That's a good point. El Spooky. Billy needs to move to Israel. He would do better there, perhaps. Yeah. Really get away from. And that's the other thing. These nuns are so like caught up in the spirit of Christmas, but they're like not talking about Jesus. They're like super gung ho about Santa Claus. Isn't that strange?
Yeah.
I know. I'm sure you can have both in the same home. You know, you don't need to get rid of Santa to respect old Jesus. But like in a place where it's so strict, a nun. I don't know what you call it. Is it? I don't know if that is a nunnery. I don't know what a nunnery is. Or like what the distinction? A brewery? I don't know.
Ran by nuns.
A murder of nuns? I don't know what you call them.
A murder of nuns.
I don't know, but like you would think they'd be doubling down on like Jesus Christmas, you know, and that would be healthy for Billy because he didn't see Jesus kill his parents as a kid, you know. But I watched that movie too. The sled scene's great. And speaking of Friday the 13th, when he kills Leanna Quigley's boyfriend, throws him out the window.
Oh, yeah.
That felt super Jason Voorhees. Jason loves just yeeting guys out the window. So that felt really, really reminiscent of Friday the 13th. A lot of great kills. And then that's when it obviously kind of gets to the night's over. It becomes, and you have that scene with the kid where she comes out and sees Santa.
Oh, yeah. And he gives her the box cutter.
That's a great too, because it's a very tense scene. So you're like, is this movie going to go there? It's quite edgy. Is it going to go there? Is he going to kill a girl?
I thought it was going to happen.
But no, she reassures him, I've been nice. I've not been naughty, which totally applies to his rules. Says, great. And Billy has the scariest smile. He's just like, are you sure you haven't been naughty? Naughty. And who plays Billy? It's Robert Brian Wilson. He's great because he's just so stark serious. He just gives like a great horror performance where he's taking what he's doing so seriously and not really camping it up. Are you sure you haven't done anything naughty? Nope, not naughty. Here's a box cutter I used to gut a saleswoman 2 hours ago. Good night. Merry Christmas. And he goes off into the night. And that's when it becomes daytime. And now it's not Christmas anymore. Now, you know, and the nun's out looking for him with like the chief of police. And the police accidentally gunned down a different Santa. It's
a deaf father.
They're like, how can we construct this scene where it works? I don't know. He's dressed like Santa and he's deaf, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's why he didn't turn around. He's also a priest. And they don't care. They don't care at all.
Yeah, they really don't. They're like,
Father O'Malley. He's deaf. Oh. shit.
Yeah, that's about as much time they take to dwell on it. They're like, oh, really?
That means he's still out there. Oh.
Yeah, they don't even think about
Right.
a man has died. You know, like like everybody gets over it super quick, and you can already. I mean, this is true to life. You get the sense of that cop is like going to not be punished at all. He might get like 3 weeks paid suspension, and then they're going to put him back out on the streets.
It's another deaf priest.
Fucking shot a deaf priest dressed like Santa here to give gifts to children, and nobody cares. It's just business as usual. It's December 26th. Yeah, they also like break into that one Santa's home. Just like a dad giving his kids presents dressed as Santa, coming there waving guns around. It's great. It's great. This movie's so fun. But also it's not fun. It's so dark and just like mean. It's very mean spirited.
Oh yeah.
Towards it's like, and it isn't worried about being tasteless or offensive. It's just very, very uncensored 80s horror movie and very, very mean spirited to every character in the movie. Everybody just wants to have sex and get drunk, and they all get murdered, and everyone's a rapist. That's the cast of this film.
But yeah, so it ends at the nunnery, and Billy's ready to kill Mother Superior with an axe.
Yeah, and now she's in a wheelchair. Now that some time has passed, and now she kind of seems like she's mellowed out a little bit.
Yeah, she's definitely mellowed out. She seems nicer.
Which is like, wow, now you want to play nice. You don't have to nurture this young man who's been just abused and traumatized his whole life. And he's pushed him off the cliff even faster. You're like, well, now they might take it easy and sit in a wheelchair.
And his little brother, what's his little Richie?
I don't remember. To be honest with you.
But he's there, and also the age discrepancy is still showing here, because he's like a little munchkin, and this dude's a fucking lumberjack. They're only supposed to be 5 years apart.
Yeah, because he is a baby at the start of the film. That's true.
Yeah, and he's 5.
Yeah, well, Billy clearly, like, again, they all think he's not that much older than, like, to them it all makes sense, but he is inhabiting the body of a very old man with a very hairy ass.
Very cringe. But yeah, he gets gunned down by the police, and then his little brother's standing over his body, and he just says, "Naughty."
Which I think is a great ending.
That's a fantastic ending. I loved it.
The cycle of violence continues.
Naughty.
As now this kid's traumatized by watching his brother dressed as Santa get murdered by the police.
And then he grows up very fast within 4 years, and he gets real pissed about
Garbage Day.
That was fucking perfect.
And the second one is like, I almost thought about picking that one because it's so iconic, and because you do kind of you get pretty much all the information we just gathered from this film. You get all of it in that movie in flashbacks, but then you just have this insane sequence at the end where he's gone on a rampage and he's walking through suburbia and he like just shooting people and he like electrocutes a man and his eyes explode, like all sorts of fun stuff in the second part. But it's like hardly a movie. This is actually a movie with a complete story, and that's just kind of a weird, like, fell through the cracks, like re-release gimmick that sort of turned into its own thing. But it's like a Frankenstein hodgepodge of ideas. But like, I wouldn't call that a good movie. It just
Garbage Day.
It just got that in it, which is what's so iconic about it. But this is like a proper, great holiday themed slasher that I think stands up. And it's not as good as Halloween. It's not as good as Friday the 13th, but it stands like in the same room, I think, as those movies. Kind of. It's very much a product of its time. It's a product of what was popular in horror. It is very I would say Friday the 13th influence. You guys are the first I've heard this opinion about Billy from. The actor was in his early 20s and looks the same age as teens in other 80s. Well, that's the thing. He looks like other teens in other 80s slashers, but they are also not, they don't look like teenagers either. It's just totally a thing of its time. I don't know about this movie specifically, but we're certainly not the first to make that comment of like those movies from this era having young characters played by fully grown adults. Even the actor being in his 20s. If I don't know how old they say he is in this, 16 or 18 or something like that.
Definitely 18. He just turned 18. Yeah, he doesn't look 20.
He definitely doesn't look 18. but that's not. I mean, we're talking about this movie, but it's definitely not unique to this movie. That was it. The whole thing of like casting young characters with actually young actors is kind of more of a modern practice. I think took like a lot, like the 2010s to like really start regularly, even in like high school movies, especially from this age. Again, like most of them don't look like high school kids, with this exception of like John Hughes movies or something. Those are a little bit better about it, but this, he looks like a giant man with super Santa powers. They'll throw you through a fucking window.
How many murderous clowns would you give this one?
Murderous clowns?
Or murderous Santa Clauses?
The hell movie did you watch? This is December. We don't watch clown movies.
Murderous Santa Clauses.
You're thinking of Christmas Joker. I would say 3.5 on this.
3.5 murderous Santa Claus.
Yeah. What do you think?
Santa Claus?
Is it like deer where you just say Santa Claus?
Santa Claus. Okay. How many did you give it?
3.5.
3.5. Wow. I'm going with 3.
Yeah. Fair.
With 3 murderous Santa Claus.
3. Yeah, it's like, again, it's not a traditionally good movie,
but it's fun.
It's fun, and it is very much a product of its time. I really enjoyed getting to watch a movie from the 80s for this show.
Yeah.
The closest we've gotten to doing that is when we talked about the Scream Queen documentary and we watched the second Elm Street. That's the closest we've gotten to talking about an older movie on this show. And I enjoyed kind of breaking the format and the pace to do that and do something a little bit different. It definitely is, not something you sit down and just watch with anybody on any old day. But if you're like us, and presumably you are like us to some degree, you're listening to this show, you like horror movies, you like to watch these kinds of movies this time of year. This is you gotta do this one. Like you can't mess it up. If you're like, I gotta watch Christmas horror movies, you can't pass it up. And that's why we went with this one first. Ghost would put this in the same category as something like Maniac. Yeah, I'd say that's fair. Again, it's not one of those tentpole horror iconic movies from the 80s, but it's definitely striving to be one and definitely influenced by them. And then it's kind of something else. It doesn't quite have maybe the same, I don't want to say, I definitely don't want to say elegance. I don't know what I want to say, but it definitely is not as cohesive as those movies that would go on to be like universal classics, whereas this is kind of more niche and specific to horror fans. But this is definitely one to watch this month, and it made sense to talk about, I think, starting off our holiday horror marathon. It's great to revisit it and talk about it. And we're going to be doing that all month. Next Thursday. Yeah, a little more modern, but still a couple years old. Krampus or Krampus. However you prefer to say it. You can see up top we got 2 little Krampuses.
Crampi?
Yeah, that Crampi. Krampesians. I don't know. We got 2 little Krampus boys up there. So we're big fans of what Krampus does, and I'm excited because that movie's
we're big fans of his work.
Yeah, we stand. Can't fucking wait to talk about Krampus next Thursday. And again, if you need a refresher or a reminder, what's this month look like again? Next Thursday, the 10th, is Krampus. The very next night, the 11th, we're doing a watch along on this channel of Jack Frost from 1997.
There might be a surprise movie afterwards. We don't know yet.
Might be a surprise movie. If you guys are good, if you aren't naughty,
You're not naughty.
Naughty. If you're watching the movies, having a good time, hanging out with us, I see no reason to call it a night early. So we will watch something after Jack Frost 2. But we're definitely watching 1997's Snowman Killer Jack Frost. The 17th, we're watching Gremlins. You don't need me to tell you what Gremlins is. You already know. Can't wait to talk about Gremlins. December 23rd, again, Black Christmas. All 3 versions, 1974, 2006, and 2019. We'll be looking at the entire legacy of Black Christmas. And then the 30th is our book club episode, Secret Santa by Andrew Schaefer. I'm already having a ton of fun. Very, very influenced by 80s horror literature and Stephen King, and then the world of publishing. We're having a holiday horror theme. So that's going to be fun. Couldn't have come out at a better time for us. Got a great month of content coming up. I'm looking forward to it. It's Happy Reelydays. You should compare Silent Night, Deadly Night to Black Christmas. Let's watch that. I'm sure we will. I'm sure there's no way we couldn't. And I think that'll be interesting by the end to see, like, I would love to figure out, like, kind of a thesis on, like, why this works. You know, why does Christmas, and I'm sure think pieces and things have been written about it, but, like, for our own purposes, why do these two things seem to marry each other so well every once in a while through the years? We're going to really figure it out, I think. So that's it. That's our first episode of Reely Scared. Happy Reely Day edition. Thank you for watching. If you listen after the fact, thank you for listening. Again, be sure you go ahead and give us a follow on Twitch. Helps us out if you listen on Apple I almost said Apple Codcasts. It's bedtime, and I did say it. Codcasts. Apple Podcasts. Again, I'm not drunk. I finished this, so I'm just tired. I'm so tired.
Yeah, I'm with you, bud.
It's fucking December, man. I'm tired. That'll probably also be the theme of these episodes. I'm tired. Rate and review on Apple or whatever podcasting service you listen to, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and SoundCloud. Be sure to tune in coming up Sunday. We got Real Talk. I'm sure we'll be talking at length about the Warner Brothers news on there. Maybe a little game night after. We'll see what happens. I believe tomorrow will be Matt's review of The Mandalorian. That says Friday. Today's Friday, so it's not coming out Friday. It's coming out tomorrow. Of the newest Mandalorian episode.
Live after this, actually.
Live after this. Don't go anywhere. Well, it's not streaming live, but if you're on our YouTube, it'll be playing.
No streaming live.
He's okay. Streaming live. That's news. That's news with dinner in his mouth. Breaking news. Breaking his meal and breaking news. So we got Mandalorian reviews coming up right after this. That's exciting. Real Talk on Sunday. And I'm coming back Thursday to talk about Krampus. Thank you for watching. Have a great night and have a very wonderful
Garbage day.